This meeting is being recorded.
Hello, everyone. All right, today I'm going to briefly go over exchanges and wallets more in depth. I know we've talked a lot about TNNS going on a centralized exchange, and we have that date set for the end of January here, which is very exciting. So I just wanted to explain the difference between centralized, decentralized, and then give you guys kind of an overview of what a wallet is and how that works in comparison to an exchange. All right, so getting started, centralized versus decentralized. Sometimes you will see it abbreviated as CEX or DEX, or some people say DEX. Centralized exchange basically means there's a third party that is an intermediary between buyers and sellers. This is a place where you can purchase, sell crypto with our government currencies, US dollar, euro, any fiat government currency can be used on exchanges. So examples of those would be Binance, it's the number one exchange in the world, and then Coinbase, obviously a lot of people have heard of that. Crypto.com has become very, very popular here in the United States. Those would all be examples of centralized exchanges. Decentralized exchanges are peer-to-peer transactions, and this is where you wouldn't be able to use regular government currency to buy, sell, or trade crypto. They would be crypto to crypto transactions, and there's no third party that is intervening in these transactions. It's literally, if I were going on to, let's say that first little icon there is Uniswap, and that mostly Ethereum tokens are traded on Uniswap. It would be between myself and another person, not an entity or a company. Again, so some examples of decentralized exchanges, Uniswap, what I just talked about. A lot of what they do is with Ethereum. PancakeSwap is on the Binance Smart Chain. And we can get into the difference between the blockchains at another time, but that's just what blockchains are running on those exchanges. All right, so some of the pros and cons. Centralized exchanges are very user friendly. So you'll go through, a lot of times you can just sign up. For instance, on Coinbase, you have an app. You can sign up and you're able to buy crypto right away, set up your bank account. For bigger transactions, you go through a KYC. So that's just knowing your customer. So you would have to do some sort of identification verification, and then you're allowed to do larger transactions or even be able to transact with other people. But it's very, very simple usually to set up and easy. There's high liquidity on centralized exchanges. That means there's usually a supply to be bought and traded. So you don't usually run into issues where you can't find a certain token as long as the token is offered on an exchange. And then it's really reliable as well. So, um, usually especially with the bigger centralized exchanges, they have a lot of liquidity and you're able to quickly make transactions. The cons of a centralized exchange would be the custody of your cryptos. So the exchange actually owns your private keys. I'll give a comparison to regular banks. Okay, so what we use now, it would be like if I owned gold and, um, sorry, actually let's just use regular cash. So if I have cash and I put it in the bank, and let's say I have $100,000, when I put that in the bank is lending that out to other people. It's called fractionalized banking. Versus if I have $100,000 in cash, I keep it in a safe at my house or whatever it is. I have ownership of that and I'm able to use it however I want. I would not be able to walk into a bank and immediately get my $100,000. It would take them a few days to be able to do that because they're lending it out. It's the same idea with a centralized exchange and your crypto keys. It's being lent out and traded constantly, so you don't actually personally own those keys, but you do have access to it eventually. There's also been some hacking issues with centralized exchanges where hackers come in and they've taken crypto. Most larger exchanges are fairly safe and also insured, so you would get your assets back, but that is one risk. And then also, some people would say there's some price manipulation that goes on with centralized exchanges. There, for those of you that are looking to get more into cryptocurrency and maybe buy different tokens and start trading, there are times when exchanges go down, when there's mass events where there's huge pumps in a certain crypto, as like that's something we like to call it, or a dump, where people are selling a ton off. Sometimes those exchanges get frozen. So just so you're aware of that. Decentralized exchanges, the pros to a decentralized exchange is they're anonymous. So there's no KYC process that goes on with it. You're setting up your crypto wallet with a decentralized exchange. No one knows who you are. It's just a digital identification, and so that allows for complete privacy. A lot of times there's better security with decentralized exchanges, and just like we were just talking about with the centralized exchange, you actually own your private keys. So I'm hanging on to uh, my code for whatever crypto I own, and the centralized exchange does not have access to that at all. I'm the one who has self custody of it, which is a positive and can also be a negative, because if you lose it, you will not be able to get it back. Some cons to decentralized exchanges is they can be fairly complex, especially if you aren't familiar with dealing with cryptocurrency on a regular basis. There's extra steps usually to be able to exchange or trade or cash out of cryptos. Um, there's no fiat, so it's all crypto to crypto. You would have to either, if you're on the Binance network, you would have to have Binance to be able to make any exchanges with that, or if you were on Ethereum, you would need Ethereum. And then also sometimes there's low liquidity, so there's not a large supply if you're looking for a specific token. All right, so again, exchanges are kind of our onboarding or offboarding, our ways to purchase and move cryptos around. A wallet is a place where we actually store our cryptocurrency. So think of it just like your normal everyday wallet. If you have cash and you have cash on hand, you put your money in it. Uh, Very similar, but this is a digital wallet. Exchanges do offer wallets. So anybody that has interacted with Coinbase or Binance can see that there are wallets on there, and you can hold your cryptos on there. But just as I said before, you don't own those private keys, so it's at the whim of the centralized exchange. When you actually have a physical wallet, there are two types. There's one that would be called a hot wallet or a software wallet. And really, this is just an app. So Trust Wallet is a great example of that. And most of you guys have or have set up a Trust Wallet for TNNS. And this is, run just on your phone or your computer, and you need the internet to be able to access it. And then another form of a wallet would be a hardware wallet or a cold wallet. And this is where you don't need the internet to to hang on to your personal keys. I actually have a couple examples of those in a second here. So two different types of wallets: software wallet, hardware wallet. Software wallets, again, are applications on your phone. You need the internet to be able to run them. Just some positive things about software wallets are they're very easy to set up. So really all you have to do is find the app, set it up like you would any other app. Sometimes it asks for some verification. It will give you seed phrases. We'll talk about that in a second. Make sure that when you're setting up any wallet, you write those down. You don't actually take a picture of them, and maybe write them down in a couple different places and hang on to them just like you would a gold or silver or any physical asset that you have, so you don't lose it and you have access to it. Most are free to download, so very, very simple. You get it on your phone, get it in the App Store, and they're easy to access because they're on your phone. So let's say, hey, I have TNNS. We're on an exchange. I'm holding it on my Trust wallet, and I want to sell some out. You would be able to access that with your phone. There's a couple steps with that, but for simplicity reasons, it's pretty simple. A hardware wallet is actually a physical device, very similar to an external hard drive. So, maybe one of those USB, and actually Ledger is a hardware wallet, and it looks like a USB drive. Um, I personally like hardware wallets because they are the most secure to store your cryptocurrency. It's offline storage. So really, the only way to make transactions is if you have the device on you. Um, One negative might be it does cost money to purchase them, so they're between $50 and $150. Um, some examples would be a Cool Wallet. I actually use Cool Wallet. It looks like this. It looks like almost like a credit card, and it's hooked up with Bluetooth. And then my personal favorite is SafePal, and it looks like this. And SafePal actually has a software and a hardware wallet, and is works in conjunction with finance. So TNNS is supported on SafePal, but for any of those, you need the actual device to make crypto transactions. All right, so some of the key points, just as you guys start to get into crypto a little bit more and figure out exchanges and wallets, is really it's a personal preference. It's security and privacy versus user friendly and simplicity. I would say security and privacy, decentralized exchanges, hardware wallets are the way to go. User friendly and simplicity, centralized exchanges and software wallets are very, very easy to use. Personally, I actually have several wallets. I have probably 10 software wallets and two hardware wallets. And I use several exchanges. And the reason for that is not all cryptos are offered on each exchange or each wallet. So you kind of have to play around if you're going to be in more than one asset. Like I said, TNNS right now is offered on any Binance or most Binance wallets, and then will be on a centralized exchange. Um, the best ways to protect your assets, just like I was saying with the seed phrases, never give them out. There are unfortunately a lot of scammers in the crypto world that are trying to get your seed phrases or to hack accounts, and the only way they can do that is if you have a secure wallet, a software wallet, or a hardware wallet, is to get your seed phrases. So if somebody's asking for those, I would be very, very cautious with that, and most likely not give those out. And also, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is a scam. So there's a lot of scams on Twitter and Discord where people are asking, hey, send me one Ethereum or half of Ethereum, and we'll send you back three. There's a really common one with Elon Musk on that. That's not really Elon Musk. Be very cautious. Again, if they're asking you to send crypto and they're going to give you double in return, it's most likely a scam. So um, that's my overview on wallets and exchanges. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. It's a very exciting time. As I said, we're ready for launch at the end of the month on a centralized exchange, and our NFT marketplace is ready to go. And developers are doing an amazing job getting gaming ready. So lots of exciting things as we enter 2022.
Lisa, thank you very much for that presentation. Just some quick questions that I envision some of our athletes in the audience possibly asking. As we make the transition to the centralized exchange, is TNNS able to coexist concurrently on a decentralized exchange and a centralized exchange?
Yes, and on multiple of either. So um, as we launch onto our first centralized exchange, the plan is to go on to more than one in 2022. And again, some are offered in different countries, some are offered different assets, but that's all a very positive thing to be on both decentralized and centralized exchanges. So yes, that is possible.
I know the centralized exchange that we've been eyeing, which hopefully we can share with everybody here soon, transacts something like 900 million US dollars per day. Can you talk a bit about how the trading volume on a centralized exchange may impact TNNS?
Yeah, that will definitely increase exposure and increase price. So, right now, the crypto market, we can talk about just in general, has been down. There's two things that are going on with this. One is just trading in general. There's technical analysis and trading cycles that happen, and the other is news. So, um, I talked about some common phrases that are used in the crypto world. There's a lot of FUD happening, fear, uncertainty, and doubt in the crypto world. Um, that doesn't really apply to our project. Everybody knows what we're doing and where we're headed. So, as a centralized exchange takes us on, there's going to be a ton more investors and traders that will be interacting with TNNS, and that should definitely increase our price as we go on to that centralized exchange. I wanted to hit on that a little bit too, is some of the athletes out there that may be listening to this, and as you guys see, hey, TNNS has gone from 40 cents, 50 cents to $1 to $1.50, and you are like, hey, I really want to cash them out. Um, Please chat with us about that, because we do have people that are helping us with the market and just keeping our price fairly stable and making sure that there aren't big swings in the price in terms of on a downside if a lot of athletes wanted um, to sell and get some fiat cash. And so we will help you guys with that.
Absolutely. And I think you've spoken really nicely a couple of times on making sure our athletes are able to eat properly and socialize properly. And so we're here to help everybody do that, but also protect your investment. As we talk about the manifestation of positive things, talking about where
Yes.
TNS could go in 22 and beyond. So we're all here to help with that. Some people have spoken about trusting computers more than phones and using and maintaining their wallets. Is there any rhyme or reason to that, or would you recommend people using a desktop versus a phone, or what are your thoughts on that?
Um, Personally, either is fine. Again, as long as I would say one concern with just a cell phone is if you lose a cell phone and you're on a centralized exchange, that's where your wallet's being held and it's easy to access. There's not, a second verification. I would be a little bit cautious about that. I would always have a second, whatever they call that, two-step verification, where you're using a Google authenticator or something like that, just to protect yourself in case something got lost. Like I said, it as early on in investments, as you're getting into crypto, the easy, simple ways of doing things is totally fine and usually very, very secure. So that's fine. If as assets grow in price, I would start to be a little bit more cautious. If you have 10,000 TNNS and it goes to $5, $10, that's a pretty good chunk of money, and I would consider protecting it a little bit more, maybe with a hardware wallet.
And Lisa discussed the two-step authentication. We can also help with that. Google Authenticator, I believe it's called,
Hmm.
is it
Hmm.
sounds daunting, but it's easy to use. So we can help as everyone gets their wallet set up in that regard too. Going
Hmm.
back for one last moment between the hard and the soft wallets, do you recommend people having both of those, or is that just a personal taste?
Personal preference. Again, a software wallet is super easy to set up. A lot of them have DEXs, decentralized exchanges, attached to them. So it makes it really easy. There's just kind of a little application on there. If you were needing to trade crypto for crypto, that would be possible. Again, it's personal preference. It's a little, if you're if you're buying and holding for long periods of time, I tend to lean towards a hardware wallet because you just aren't transacting as much, and it's not a big deal to have to, pull out your device and be able to make a transaction once in a while. If you're a trader, uh, and I don't know if anybody out there is, I'm sure you guys are busy doing other things, but if you are trading cryptocurrency, it's probably a lot easier to have a software wallet and be on exchanges and trade fairly consistently. I'm a buyer and a holder or hodler, so I have almost all my crypto on hardware wallets just for security purposes, and it's pretty easy to use too.
Well, we're right at about 30 minutes, so we'll let all of our athletes get back to training and competing. Coach Lisa Faulkner, thank you as always, and we'll see you on YouTube in about a month or so.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks.